Hi David, nice to see you. A lot of news put out there by the club last couple of days, so we'll kind of try and tie all the strands together. Let's start with club have confirmed Kieran, Sam Byram, Michael McGovern, one or two of the lads out on loan, and the two lads who are here on loan going back to their clubs. Probably easier just to maybe throw them at you individually. Kieran Dow, we'll start with him. I mean, difficult because of his contractual situation. Would I be right in saying you'd maybe like to keep him? He was a player you like to work with. We could see that before he got injured.
Yeah, obviously he's done quite well in the time when I worked with him, but we said this beforehand, we like to refresh the group. Obviously for this we have to create space as well. And obviously we made the decisions which we announced already, and this is the reason why. So at the end of the day, all of them are good guys, players where I really like to work with, and me personally wish them all the best for the future.
Yeah, so I mean, was it a case more of a mutual decision then with the group, with those individuals, or was there any that maybe on your side you would have liked to keep them a bit longer, but ultimately they're free agents come the summer?
No, at the end of the day, I'm absolutely fine with all the decisions which we made so far, and I'm really looking forward to what we will do further in the future.
Sure. But just what on Sam Byram, we all know, and you said it yourself, footballing wise, the ability, you could see it's not in doubt, but clearly he's had his problems with fitness and his injuries. Was that a factor maybe in the final decision with him?
Yeah, for sure. I think he now was here at the club for a few years. Unfortunately, he never was able to put a run of games consistently together because of injuries. And I think then it's the right decision to thank for everything what he's done, and quite interesting where he will be in the next season.
And what about, I'll be interested because you didn't really see too much of them, the Danel Sonanis and the Josh Martins. I mean, would you have took more soundings from Stuart and the guys who were here who knew those players in terms of arriving at those final decisions, or would they pretty much have already been in train by the time you got here in January?
Daniel I've known quite well, to be fair, but on the other side, obviously yes, I take on board what the guys told me what happened beforehand, and it's the same. So we said, and this is where I really strong believe in, we have to refresh, and we will refresh the group, and this means we have to bring new faces, new energy, new mentality into this group.
Yeah. Maybe come back to that a little bit later, but we all knew anyway that it was going to be Teemu's last game here, and you can see already now he's done a little bit of media in the last few days, and the feeling around the place. I guess again, just reiterate what a guy he's been to work with these last few months, and then what you hope Monday is for him and his family, and the fans get the opportunity to say farewell.
Yeah, for sure. I wish that we all together, and I know that everyone is keen to do, especially our supporters, give him the send off which he deserves for the legacy which he had here. He's a standout character and player as well. He will play. He will start on Monday for sure. And this is obviously all our aim, that he gets a send off which he deserves. And I know that everyone understands, and obviously we from the backroom staff and the players as well like to do everything that this will be his afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, you said when it was officially announced that you kind of known that decision was going to end in that direction, but is it tough from the player's point of view that these last few weeks and months, because he probably does know that it's coming to an end, and that's a very difficult mindset to try and get your head around as a player, isn't it? That you know there's an end point and it's coming ever closer.
I think you only can imagine how big this moment for an individual is if you was in a situation like this before. And 5 years is a very, very long time in football, and 5 years like he had, the success and the footsteps which he made here in Norwich and in English football as well, as a very calm Finnish guy, is an unbelievable achievement, and he was very, very focused, normal, to be fair, in the last weeks. Maybe something what you thought, okay, if some would do his work like he has done it before, then it's Teemu, and this is exactly how it was. But I can see that on Monday, or maybe in the next days, at least internal, it is quite emotional for him, but you don't realize it if you are in at the training ground.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that in terms of, we're talking about Teemu, but how do you get your sense by observing, the other players, because he has been such an integral part of it. Clearly is what he's done on the pitch, but off it as well, his character, the type of character he is, probably going to be a huge miss within the changing room dynamic as well, isn't he, with the other players?
Yeah, obviously, because he speaks Spanish, English as well, and obviously he is Scandinavian, which helps Lungi. So he is quite a personality which can dox on to a few different groups as well. So this was always very, very helpful. Sorry, obviously he's not a loudspeaker in the dressing room, but always a very reliable person. You really can have a chat with him, not only about football, about some other things as well. He will be a miss, for 100%. He will be a miss, but I think we all together know that he as well deserves to make a decision what should be his next step in his life. I think he deserved this, and this is why we really backed everything what he decided a few weeks ago, when he said he likes to move on and likes to search for another challenge.
Yeah, and as you say, you've touched on it already, the legacy that he leaves. I mean, to come in as a free transfer, his numbers are off the chart in terms of his goals and how important he was to a team who twice got promoted as winners from this league. And I think he scored both Premier League seasons, 11 goals. So in terms of how can you sum up his achievement for what he was brought to the club to do and what he's actually done in the interim, you can't really say anything other than he's right up there, isn't he? Any discussion about modern day players at this football club, he has to be in the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of people will only realize it as longer as he is away from our football club. This is always the same. So as longer the time passed by, as bigger and as more realize everyone what he has done, and what he has done is just outstanding.
And bringing it on to the game itself, as you say, it's going to be a lot about Teemu and these other lads now who are leaving. But your point you made about the last few games we know haven't gone how anybody wants them to be. 1 win in 10, frustration is there. We saw after the game against West Brom, frustration among the fan base. Would the message just be park that for this one and it's giving these lads the send off maybe they deserve, and then you'll pick it up again and try and deal with the issues that are there and need to be addressed?
No, listen, at the end of the day, it's a football game, and we are professionals and we like to win this football game. And it's a game at home. It's the last home game of the season. Obviously, there were a lot of things going on in the season, and we will discuss this after the season for sure. But we like to look forward as well. Yeah, it's a big part. A last home game when players, and especially a player like Teemu, leave the club after such a long time. But at the end of the day, it's a football match as well. So I think, as I said, everybody will have the right balance and the right knowledge to judge right what is important on Monday. And maybe apart from performing and winning, it's as well, as I said, to give the players and especially Teemu the send-off which he deserves.
And as you say, it feels like it's a twin track. It'll be about Teemu and those players who are leaving, but it's about the future. And I guess as the head coach who's driving this forward now, you want to give those fans who come up to Carrow Road Monday and are going away for the summer some reasons and something to see that, okay, we can see moving forward there's some positivity here. That's important as well on Monday.
Yeah, I know where you come from, and obviously it is. This is not a shadow of a doubt, but everything what we will do in the window and in the preseason and to prepare everybody for the next season, is not only based on Monday's game. This is not the truth. It would be a lie if I would say this. But as I said, we like to win football matches. We like to perform. We like to play to our strength. And this is, especially in the last home game of the season, what is our aim is.
Yeah, in terms of the squad news, Onel, he said after the game last Saturday, hopefully he'll be back in training and available. What's the situation with him?
Yeah, he trained. He is available. Unfortunately, we had to shut down Josh Sargent. We have known this, to be fair, for quite a while. So we had a few weeks shin problems which get worse. He was not always able to follow the whole trainings regime. And now, and this is the truth as well, we have to looking forward to the next season, to the pre-season as well. And this is why we had to shut him down for a few weeks, that he in the best possible condition when we start the pre-season for the next season. So this means he will miss Monday's game.
But in terms of that process, we're just talking rest and recuperation. There's nothing injury-wise, surgery-wise.
No, but he played a lot of football, and obviously then there is a moment where your body shows sometimes a reaction, and this was exactly the case with him, especially his shin. And obviously, as long as we were chasing for the playoffs, there was no chance to rest him. But now we said we have to look forward to the next season, to the pre-season, so we can't take any risks. And every further day of training would be a risk for him, and this is why we shut him down immediately after the West Brom game.
Okay. Other than him, in terms of the guys who were available last Saturday, looking okay, no issues, nothing we don't know about. Yeah. And just update on Gibson and McLean. Obviously, you said if it potentially got into a playoff situation, maybe, but where are we with those in terms of their recovery?
Yeah, they are back on the grass with the fitness guys. It looks like that they can follow our testing regime, which we had set up for next week. So the guys will be here till the end of the week. We set 3 days of testings where I like to have a clear picture where the guys are, and then obviously they get a proper off-season program. And the first thing what we do when we come together, we will make the retest as well, and then we can see exactly how everybody followed his trainings program and how the status quo is after the off season and how it is now after the regular season. And this is why we said we will take the time, make some proper tests, and it looks like that Kenny and Gibbo can follow this test next week.
Yeah, I mean, funny enough, I was going to ask you about that, how you sort of post Blackpool shut it down and debrief the situation. You're talking about the fitness testing with a view to next season, but how do you deal with the players who are going to be here, who you know are going to be here? Are you a type of coach who goes post Blackpool and sits them all down and have one-to-ones and maybe review this season where you think they can get better, what you want them to go and work on over the summer? Is that the sort of situation you might look to do post Blackpool?
Yeah, this is how it will be, not only with the players, with backroom stuff as well, with the different departments. I will sit down, reflect the last season, obviously looking forward to the next season as well. We have to make our head around what we can adapt, what we like to change, and get some ideas on board as well. And obviously, this is another reason why I like to have everybody together in the next week, because I like to have a proper chat with everybody, that he knows exactly what I expect from them in the off season, and that they know what I expect from them in the pre-season as well, because this will probably not be nice pre-season without looking forward to it too far ahead.
Yeah, I don't want to press you too much on what pain's in store, but I mean, is it going to be, you see that pre-season, that's where you put your platform in, you put your principles, put your fitness work into these guys, and that set yourself up.
Yeah, for next season there are some crucial parts which have to be spot on and top, and one part of this is for sure the pre-season, another part is our transfer window for sure as well, and obviously the off season is a big part as well, that the off season program is spot on. We need this test for this as well, so one links to the other. There are some crucial important bits which we have to make sure that they are 100% work out. that we can be next season very, very competitive.